Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayo Gauranitai Gauranitai Nitai Gaura Haribo Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo Nitai Go Jaya Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Jai Prabhupada Jaya Vishnu Param Hamsa Pravajaka Astota Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Charger His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Shikha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Radha Kun Shama Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Birhat Murdanga Ki Jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Jnana Timirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurvam Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Madhopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Saditam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vrishabhanu Sute Deve Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukhaṁ karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. First of all, I would like to welcome everyone to today's ecstatic Srimad Bhagavatam class. And then I would like to share a blessing I just got before the class. This is the Panchatattva's Arti Maha flower given by the lotus hand from His Grace Rameshwar Prabhu. Before the class, I went to Panchatattva altar to pray. I prayed twice. I need some blessings. Please bless me to properly give the class. And then the Lord reciprocates. So they really know our hearts. Hare Krishna. For the online devotees and everyone on site. Hare Krishna. So today we are going to read Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 12. Verse number 7 to 9. So the 7 is on the board. Okay. Please repeat after me. Dhiyā nigṛhyamāṇo bhruvor madhyāt prajāpateḥ sadyo jāyata tan-manyuḥ kumāro nīla-lohitaḥ dhiyā nigṛhyamāṇo bhruvor madhyāt prajāpateḥ sadyo jāyata tan-manyuḥ kumāro nīla-lohitaḥ dhiyā nigṛhyamāṇo bhruvor madhyāt prajāpateḥ sadyo jāyata tan-manyuḥ kumāro nīla-lohitaḥ dhiyā nigṛhyamāṇo bhruvor madhyāt prajāpateḥ sadyo jāyata tan-manyuḥ kumāro nīla-lohitaḥ dhiyā nigṛhyamāṇo bhruvor madhyāt prajāpateḥ sadyo jāyata tan-manyuḥ kumāro nīla-lohitaḥ dhiyā nigṛhyamāṇo bhruvor madhyāt prajāpateḥ sadyo jāyata tan-manyuḥ kumāro nīla-lohitaḥ. Vaishnavis. Dhiyā nigṛhyamāṇo bhruvor madhyāt prajāpateḥ sadyo jāyata tan-manyuḥ kumāro nīla-lohitaḥ dhiyā nigṛhyamāṇo bhruvor madhyāt prajāpateḥ sadyo jāyata tan-manyuḥ kumāro nīla-lohitaḥ. Word for word. Dhiyā, by intelligence. Nigṛhyamāṇaḥ, being controlled. Api, in spite of. Bhruvoḥ, of the eyebrows. Madhyāt, from between. Prajāpateḥ, of Brahmā. Sadyaḥ, at once. Ajāyata, generated. Tat, his. Manyuḥ, anger. Kumāraḥ, a child. Nīla-lohitaḥ, mixture of blue and red. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Although he tried to curb his anger, it came out from between his eyebrows, and a child mixed blue and red was immediately generated. Please repeat after me. Although he tried to curb his anger, it came out from between his eyebrows, and a child of mixed blue and red was immediately generated. Purport. The phase of anger is the same, whether exhibited due to ignorance or knowledge. Although Brahmā tried to curb his anger, he could not do so, even though he is the Supreme Being. Such anger in its true color came from between the eyebrows of Brahmā as Rudra, in the mixed color of blue, ignorance, and red, passion, because anger is the product of passion and ignorance. I'll read through 8 and 9. Savairuroda devanam purvajo bhagavam bhava namani kuru medhatastanani cha jagat guru. Translation. After his birth, he began to cry, "O destiny maker, teacher of the universe, kindly designate my name and place." Text 9. Iti tasya vacha padmo bhagavam paripalayam abhyadat patraya vacha marudista karomite. Translation. The all-powerful Brahmā, who was born from the lotus flower, pacified the boy with gentle words, accepting his request, and said, "Do not cry, I shall certainly do as you desire." Hare Krishna. So here mentions that Lord Brahmā, from in between his eyebrows, created Rudra. And later Rudra, his wife is called Rudrani. And why he is called Rudra and his wife is called Rudrani? Because they loudly cry. And the interesting thing is, not only they are crying, they make everyone else in this material world also suffer and crying. And it reminds me, recently I was translating one of His Holiness Kavichandra Maharaj's class to the Russian devotees. He said, there are full of sufferings in this world. So anywhere, if you are situated, you have to suffer. Then why not suffer among the devotees? Because if we suffer among the devotees in the association, at least we get much more reward. We will be progressing on our path back to Godhead. Because the association of the devotees is very, very important. Although they oftentimes make you very angry and sometimes make you cry, either loudly or privately. But it's kind of nourishing to us. It is said that the devotees association would help a sadhana bhakta to clear his anarthas. So it's good for us. The anartha nivritti process actually happens only when we are performing devotional service in the association of the devotees. And if we are bhava bhaktas, hope some of us are, I am not, and then that bhava, the bhava bhakta, can be nourished in the association of the devotees. So this is very important. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, chapter 4, in that chapter, one of the Nava-yogandras, Drumila, he is talking about the different incarnations of the Lord to Maharaj Nimi. And in that shloka 11, both in the text and purport, it is mentioned this anger aspect. It is said that the whole material world actually is full of the influence of the demigods. And the demigods influence just like a vast ocean, and it has no limit. And in that vast ocean, which has no limit, there are uncountable waves. What kind of waves? That are different troubles brought by the different demigods. And there are hunger and thirst. There is heat and cold. And also there is anger. And also angry usually to whatever has already happened. And also one kind of veil, hankering for the future. And also lamentation. So different phases of time would bring us a lot of sufferings. And they are ministered by the different demigods. And especially in that 11.4.11, in this translation purport, it is mentioned about anger. That is a very powerful weapon of the demigods. They control us by this anger. It is said the non-devotees, they can divide it into two groups. One group, they are engrossed in sense gratification. They don't care about any kind of spiritual practice. But there is another kind of non-devotee. They're performing severe austerities and penances, and they gain a lot of power. But then what happened? It is said they want to get rid of the influence of the demigods, but they can cross over the big ocean of the influence of the demigods, but they would be drowned in the puddle of the cow's hoof prints, the puddle of water. This is anger. We can see in the scriptures it is mentioned there are so many great rishis. They did a lot of penances and austerities, but then somehow or other they are offended, and immediately they curse the others. And by this cursing, or by showing off their power, strength of austerity and penances, they lose their strength. They lose the result of their austerity and penances. So it is mentioned the second type of persons, that they are not looking after the sense gratification. They are even more foolish than those materialists. They are only looking for sense gratification in this material world. Because the first type, at least they get something. At least they get sense gratification. But the second type, they get nothing. Neither they get sense gratification, nor they get liberation, because they can't get liberation. In tomorrow's class, we are going to read Prabhupada's Purport. It will mention that Yanyad Ravandakshu Mukta Maninas, Tvayasta Bhavad Vishuddha Bhutaya, Aruhya Kritrena Param Padam Tata, Patantyato Nadrita Yushmat Angreha. There are some non-devotees, they perform very severe austerities and penances, and they thought themselves already reached the platform of perfection. But because they pay no attention, Yushmat Angreha, they pay no attention to the Supreme Lord's lotus feet, so they must have fell down. They must have fallen down from their imagined position of superiority. So what is the use of their austerities and penances? But actually for devotees like us, we're practicing devotees, we also sometimes fall in the trap of anger. We'll be very angry. For example, sometimes during prasadam, and we saw that the prasadam distributor, he give everyone else a second serving. But then when I am asking and he refused, I feel so furious. And some other things may happen during the association of the devotees. Somebody else, maybe they took away my service, which I like it very much. So many things could happen, and then we become so angry. Sometimes only very petty, very, very small things. Then we become very, very angry, and we lost the control of our mind, and maybe we even do something which we would regret in the future. And how could we overcome this? How could we reach the perfection of our devotional service? In yesterday's class, Ananda Tirtha Prabhu, he mentioned Srila Prabhupada. When he just took a tour in Boston and he came back to Jaladuta boat, he wrote a poem. And in that poem itself, he quoted 6 shlokas from Srimad Bhagavatam. That is from 1.2.16 up to 1.2.21. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gave us a very detailed analysis about these 6 shlokas. And he designates altogether 14 different spiritual steps or different stages on our path of devotional service. So I would like to discuss all these steps and hope in the association of the devotees we could absorb something. And then we could really make up our mind and refresh our vows in our devotional service and trying to hanker for that real taste of Krishna consciousness. So this series of shlokas starts from 1.2.16. Shushushoshatadhanasya vasudeva kataruchi Shammahatsevaya vipra punyartirthani shivanat. First of all, I would like to go through all the 6 different shlokas, and then we are going to analyze them one by one. We are going to list the 14 different stages, and then we find the corresponding phrases or terms in these shlokas. So, going to be a little bit technical, but it's going to be interesting also. So in this shloka, it is mentioned, O twice-born sages, by serving those who are completely free from all vice, great service is done. And by such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. And then next, Shrunvatam svakata Krishna punyashravana kirtanaha ridyantasto bhadrani vetunoti suritsadam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma super soul in everyone's heart, and who is the benefactor of sincere, truthful devotees, cleanses in the heart of the devotees his desire for material enjoyment. So Krishna, he comes to our heart and he cleanses all those material desires from our heart. And we can imagine that how merciful he is, that he could enter into our hearts, and our heart is so dirty, full of designations commanded by the ahankar. But then he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind to go to such a dirty place as long as we have such a desire to hear from him. Then he cleanses our heart. And what kind of heart he would enter into? The heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages. We have to have that urge to hear his messages. And then he would enter into our hearts. And these messages in themselves are virtuous when properly heard and chanted. And then next, Nashta prayeshva bhajishu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam. This is the part I like the most. By regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotees of the Lord. All that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. It's almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. In fact, in 1972, August 21, Srila Prabhupada, he was giving class and he mentioned this, Nashta prayeshva bhajishu. Nashta means destroyed. Prayeshu, almost to kneel, almost completely to kneel. And abhadrishu means all that is inauspicious. So he said, by this process, how many percent of these inauspicious things, this anartha, can be destroyed? Prabhupada said in 1972, August 21st, he said 75%. And also, by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, we understand there's a very subtle detail in this. This anartha also includes nama aparat. So even the nama aparat can be destroyed, almost to nil. And before this stage, our devotional service is not very steady. But after anartha nivritti, after clearing all the unwanted things from our heart, then our devotional service becomes really steady, really, really steady. Then we won't become like, today I vowed, I chant 64 rounds, and tomorrow I feel Jaitaya navidam stitam satve prasidati. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart of the devotee, the effects of nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in the mode of goodness, and he becomes completely happy. And then, evam prasana manasho bhagavad bhakti yogatah bhagavatatva vijnanam mukta sangasya jāyate. Then established in the mode of transcendental goodness, the man whose mind has been enlightened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. Not finished yet. And then vidyate hridaya grantis chedyante sarva samshayaha kshyante chasya karmani drishta evatmanishvare. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master. When one sees the self as master, that means the super self, the Paramatma, the Lord. So, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the 14 stages of spiritual development first starts from Satam Kripa. Satam Kripa means the mercy of the devotee. First of all, we need to have mercy of the devotee, then we can develop our faith, then we can serve the devotees. So first of all, we need the devotee's mercy. Isn't that every one of us started our devotional service by some type of devotee's mercy? Maybe somebody gave you a book, somebody gave you some prasadam, somebody invited you for a program. I started my Krishna consciousness by a colleague. He's sitting just opposite of my desk. And one day he put a Bhagavad Gita as it is, by his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, into my drawer. And then that started my whole journey of Krishna consciousness. So devotee's mercy is very, very important. Here, it's worth of some kind of stress. Because many of us are not so perfect. We need a lot of mercy. And there are two kinds of mercy. One is the Lord's mercy. And the Lord's mercy can be expressed by words, can be expressed by sights. For example, before the class, we go for darshan arti. We see the beautiful forms of the Lord. That is the mercy given by the Lord. We see the beautiful forms of Shri Prahlad Nrsimha Maharaj, Shri Prahlad Nrsimhadev, and also after the Mangal Arti announcement, the devotee especially mentioned we are going to see the beautiful Nrsimha Shalagram Shila worshipped by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And then we see Panchatattva, and we see Radha Madhava. That is the whole, this arti is called Shringar Arti. The Shringar Arti, this Shringar, the word itself means one kind of emotion that is full of love, expectation. That when Radharani is dressed up to see Krishna, and Krishna is dressed up to see Radharani, that is their dressing in the Shringar Vesh. And that is a Vesh, that is a beautiful, gorgeous dresses we are seeing every day, the Lord they are wearing. It's a feast to the eyes and the mind. And then the third kind of mention given by the Lord is emotional impressions. Sometimes in our hearts, we feel some kind of extraordinary sensation. Sometimes you just want to cry. Sometimes you feel your heart is touched by something spiritual. How can you develop, how can such kind of spiritual emotion arise in your heart? That is simply because the Lord's causeless mercy. And then there is another type of mercy given by the devotees. Not only the devotees on the platform of prema can give mercy, but also the devotees on the platform of bhava can also give mercy. Then we are wondering about ourselves. We are simply sadhana bhaktas. Are we empowered to give mercy? Yes. We can also giving mercy to others. And according to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, those devotees who are on the platform of prema, they can give full potency to any type of person. They can make even a materialist become prema bhaktis. Prema bhaktas, just like Narada Muni, he make one hunter become a pure devotee. And also Narada also give mercy to Prahlad Maharaj, make him a pure devotee. So if a devotee on the platform of prema, and then he can give unlimited mercy because his potency is unlimited, he can convert any materialistic person onto the platform of the highest spiritual perfection. And if some devotee, he or she is on the platform of bhava, he can also give mercy. And he can give to the devotees who are practicing sadhana bhakti, either on the Vaidhi marg or on the Raganuga marg. He can raise them also onto the similar stage like himself. That means a bhava bhakta, he can give mercy and make the practicing sadhakas also become bhava bhaktas. But for the materialistic people, a bhava bhakta, he can make them to be elevated up to the level of ruchi, taste. He can make the materialistic people getting taste. But there is a condition. These materialists, they have to be a little bit prepared. And they get the mercy to come to the stage of ruchi. They have to be some pre-qualification. Then they can fully take advantage of the mercy given by the bhava bhaktas. And for us, the sadhakas, at least we can give those materialistic people faith. We can instill faith into the hearts of the materialists merely by dint of our teachings and examples. So now we understand, by teachings means you have to preach to them, and also by your examples, at least we can give faith to materialistic people. But there is a condition. They also have to be a little bit prepared. If they are completely engrossed in material sense gratification, then there is no hope. Because Prahlad Maharaj mentioned the 7th canto, he said, Matir na Krishna parata svato va mitu bhipapit padiyeta nigṛhyamāṇaḥ adanta gopir vishatam tamishram punas charvita charvananam. Some people, they're controlled by the sense gratification. They can't control their senses, so they're rushing towards the hellish planets. And for them, either by their own endeavor or by the other people's instructions, or the combination of the two, they still cannot achieve the spiritual realization. And then becomes what? A lot of people in this material world. Antayatantaro mani yamanas tepitram urudam nibhada. So the blind people are leading the blind, and some people, they want to be cheated. So they fell into the ditch of material existence along with their leaders, the so-called gurus. And uru means very strong. Damni means cord or ropes. Uru damni bhada. Bhada means bondage. So they would be tightly, very strongly bound by the 3 modes of material nature and repeatedly suffering from the 3-fold burning miseries of the material world. Of course, recently, the devotees invented another misery. Not only devotika klesha, the adhyatmika klesha, and also adidevika klesha. Sometimes when we are broadcasting or translating different spiritual programs, we found out the equipments are not working. So some of my friends, they invented the 4th klesha, yantra klesha. I don't know which klesha this can be included, maybe to the demigods or maybe to the, either to the adidevika klesha or adibodhika klesha. Anyway, there are unlimited disturbances in this material world. Then what choice we have? We have to dovetail our life to the service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then there is a route that we can follow and we can really achieve the perfection. Sometimes we may lose our faith in this path. We are thinking, I still cannot control my senses. I still don't have determination. I'm still easily disturbed by so many things. A few days ago, when Achyantya Chaitanya Prabhu is giving class, he mentioned the 9 symptoms of Bhava Bhaktas. And the first one is called Kshanti. Kshanti means forbearance, tolerance. And we have to tolerate what? We have to tolerate disturbances given by the other people. We have to tolerate coming from the nature like heat and cold, hunger and thirst. And sometimes we have to tolerate domestic quarrels. And how can we become tolerating all these things? We have to be steady on our performance of devotional service. So that starts from satam kripa, from the mercy of the devotee. If without Srila Prabhupada, nothing we can achieve. Without Srila Prabhupada's mercy, none of us would be sitting here in Sridham Mayapur or online and listening to the Srimad Bhagavatam class today. So it starts from the mercy of the devotee. And then, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the second stage is called Mahat Seva, service to the devotees. But there is a subtle point on this line, because the devotee, he has to be merciful. He has to be willingly to give you the service to him. Then you can get. Otherwise, you cannot get. Recently, I'm serving His Holiness Kavichandra Maharaj. I'm thinking Maharaj is going to tell me what I should cook for him, this and that. So I asked him, what do you need? Then Maharaj said, I only need one thing. I become so excited. I said, what is that? I'm thinking, either I get in Mayapur locally, or if not possible, I'll buy it on Amazon. Or even I can ask some devotees bring from my country. Then Maharaj said, the only thing I want is Krishna Bhakti. And then I wrote again to His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Vinasha Narsingha Maharaj. I said, Maharaj, I heard you are coming soon. What can I arrange for you? What can I bring for you from Kashadesh? Goji berries, the dragon eyes, or ginseng, this and that. I give a whole list of different kinds of things, nutritious to the physical body. Then Maharaj replied, nothing you mention I want. I want more devotees. Can you do that? Please bring more devotees. This is the only thing I want. So unless the devotees, the pure devotee, give you some services, we cannot get. And whenever we get devotional service opportunities, we should treasure it like anything. It's very rare. Because by this service, we can achieve everything. So the first and second stage both refers to Mahat Sevaya in the Shloka 16. And then the third stage is called Shraddha. Shraddha means faith. There is one term in this 16th Shloka is called Shraddha-dhanasya. Shraddha-dhanasya. By serving the devotees, you get faith. Sometimes we feel we have a lot of problems, but by associating with very senior devotees, with gurus, with other Maharajas, we feel our problem completely disappeared. And we again get a lot of faith because we are talking with them and then we are serving them. By this contact, we got faith. There must be some touch of the devotees and then we get faith. And after we get faith, what shall we do? The first stage is Guru Padashraya. Guru Padashraya is taking shelter under the lotus feet of a guru. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he quotes from Amara Kosh, the Sanskrit dictionary. He said, the last line in this Shloka 16, Panya Tirtha Nishevanat, this simple word Tirtha in this Amara Kosh dictionary means guru. This Tirtha also means guru. So This is the next stage. And then the fifth stage is bhajaneshur spruha. Bhajaneshur spruha means the eagerness to worship Krishna. We can see that the first shloka of this group, the shloka number 16, one shloka covered 5 stages on the spiritual progress. So this bhajaneshur spruha, this eagerness to worship Krishna, is manifested by the word shushusho. Shushusho means one who is engaged in hearing. If you are engaged in hearing, then you feel like you have an urge to also do something. I will give one simple example. Whenever there is a big feast, there's no need to too much propaganda. All the devotees will go there. And automatically we have a taste because we heard there's a big feast, and then everyone's going there so eager because you heard it and you feel like you also want to do it. So the hearing is very important. Hearing makes you feel very, very eager. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he especially mentions a person by the previous step, by taking shelter of a guru, and he becomes very eager to hear the messages of Godhead. Actually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also points out, by following a guru, by serving a guru, one can develop his or her transcendental ecstasy to the service of Lord Krishna. So this is a guru's mercy. We serve guru either by vani or vapu. We get this development of special transcendental ecstasy. So please don't lose our faith. Step by step, we see that we are going toward the right direction. And then the sixth step, actually, the fifth step is revolved in, also revolved the 17th shloka. How? Because at the beginning of 17th shloka is Shunvatam Svakata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. So this refers to once you hear, you have a desire to practice this hearing. You have the desire of chanting, and you have the desire of remembering. So by hearing this, you developed your own desire of practicing all these different kinds of things. So this is the 17th shloka related to this fifth stage of spiritual progress. And then the sixth stage is bhakti. Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur didn't give much commentary on this. He simply mentioned this means bhakti. We know that on the 9 stages from Shraddha to Prema, there's also a stage like Bhajana Kriya. So it's just to perform devotional service. And by the way, taking initiation from a bona fide guru in the disciplic succession, this is also considered a part of the Bhajana Kriya. And next stage, 7th stage, is Anartha Pagama. Anartha Pagama means disappearance of the obstacles. So it is manifested in Nasta Prayeshva Bhajishu, this phrase. This is number 18. And Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Naishtiki means Nishta, means very much fixed. Very much fixed. When we become fixed, then we can have this ruchi, we can have taste. Actually, before Bhava Bhakti, if we compare Prema as the sun, and if we compare Prema as a stage of total number of 100, and Bhava means one complete unit. And this one complete unit is the smallest indivisible part, indivisible unit of bhakti. But before you reach this bhava stage, you also develop faith, you have ruchi, you have taste, and then the next stage is asakti, you have attachment. All these parts are like fragments of bhava. They cannot complete the form, the unit of bhava. Bhava means one, like number one, this one complete unit. But they are fragments. And when we accumulate all these fragments, because these fragmental parts, although they are not complete, they're not a complete unit, but they reflect the spiritual reality of bhava. So they are also very useful. And then the next stage is tata-nishta. Tata-nishta. This is the 8th stage, is steadiness. Bhaktir bhavati naistiki already covered. And then the 9th stage is ruchi, taste. This comes shloka 19. Because in that shloka it is said, cheta eta anavridham. Anavridham means without being affected. Without being affected by what? By lust, greed, and anger. And actually there's the word, do you still remember that it is mentioned adhyā? Adhyā means others. Kama lobha. Kama lobha dayaschaye. Kama lobha dayaschaye. Lobha and adhyā. Adhyā means the others. So kama means lust. Lobha means desires. And means greed, because desire. And then this adhyā, so represent by anger, illusion, and madness, and jealousy, and so many other things. But on this stage, you will not be affected. And then the next stage is 10th stage, atta asakti. Atta asakti, now you can have firm attachment. This is the last line of shloka 19, stitam, fixed, sattve, pure goodness, prasidati. Then you become completely happy. Completely happy. And then the next stage is prema, devotional service. Devotional service because Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha, engaged in the devotional service to Bhagavan. And the 13th stage is Artha Darshanam. Artha Darshanam, then you get the vision and audience of the Supreme Lord. This refers to Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam. Vijnanam, the realized knowledge means experience. You can experience the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You experience Krishna's form, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's greatness, Krishna's sweetness, and Krishna's qualities. And the last stage is Hare Madhurya Nubhava, direct experience of Hari's sweetness. This is referring to the shloka 20 Vijnanam. Vijnanam, this occurs after one experiences. Because one experiences Lord Hari, when you feel him directly, then you could taste his sweetness. So up to now, we discussed all this. And then someone maybe ask, it's too complicated, too technical. Don't worry, the last solution. I would like to end today's narration by something mentioned in Padma Purana. In the Padma Purana, there is an episode that Narada Muni, once he prayed to Srimati Bhakti Devi, the personification of devotional service to Lord Krishna. He prayed and he vowed to her. Narada Muni said, this Kali Yuga is completely different than other yoga because in this Kali Yuga, I will make you become established in every house. Not only in every house, but also in everyone's heart. And later in the same Purana, the sages, the four Kumaras, they revealed to Narada Muni how can establish Bhakti Devi in everyone's heart and also in everyone's house. That is just like a lion roars and then the wolves flee away out of fear. Simply by the sounds of Srimad Bhagavatam, all vicious qualities of Kali Yuga will be destroyed. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Then how much we should appreciate Srila Prabhupada's contribution every day, Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. Hare Krishna. We have 2-3 minutes left. Some questions, corrections. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for class. It's interesting that you mentioned in this slok number 18, it says that all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And you mentioned around 75%, something like that. And it's interesting that Srila Prabhupada in the Canada, when he was giving class, famous thing, he said, you have to be 100% pure. And all the devotees in the audience will forget it. That's not possible. And at the last, Srila Prabhupada is coming down on the steps, putting his chadar up and says 75%.
Haribol. Thank you.
Interesting.
Thank you for addition, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada gave us a special discount. Yes? Another question? Okay, so go to Brahmā. You want to ask something?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I was on time for the class on YouTube, and by the time I got here, I could listen to the rest live. Anyways, you quoted this verse from Prahlad Maharaj about chewing the chewed, and they have no hope. I was just thinking, like, maybe you can just say a little bit on, like, is that the case, or even people who have no hope, there is still some hope?
Hare Krishna, you're very merciful. I remember that a few days ago, Hridaya Chaitanya Prabhu giving a class, and in that special class, Prabhupada mentioned the purport that Lord showing one kind of special mercy to allow those conditioned souls to glide down, become more and more fallen in the material world. Because for some conditioned souls, they're just too much engrossed in material sense gratification. They won't turn back. So they must touch the bottom. And in our language, we say that somebody has to mash his head onto the southern wall, otherwise he cannot turn. So for some stubborn souls, some stubborn conditioned souls, you must allow them to touch the bottom. Then when they become completely afflicted with the injuries given by the material nature, and then they start to think something higher. So Prahlad Maharaj says somebody, they are just too much engrossed, and Prahlad Maharaj is full of compassion to them. But according to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one kind of mercy we can give to others is negligence. We just ignore them. We allow them to have this opportunity to glide down and touch the bottom. As soon as they touch the bottom, this is the only way. This is because they are so foolish, no other way. This is the mercy of Krishna and the mercy of the devotees. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam